What if the greatest architectural myth in human history isn't buried under a vast, deep ocean, but is instead hiding in plain sight, baked by the blistering sun of the desolate Mauritanian desert? For centuries, we have searched the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean for the lost kingdom of Atlantis. Yet, we blindly ignored a staggering cosmic thumbprint on the surface of our own planet, the mysterious Eye of the Sahara. This colossal concentric ring formation matches Plato's ancient description of the legendary sunken city with an accuracy that borders on the impossible. Could a prehistoric cataclysm have simply rewritten the geography of our entire world? Today, we are stripping away the mainstream academic dogmas to conduct a rigorous forensic investigation. We will cross-examine ancient texts, satellite data, and geological anomalies to uncover a truth that history tried to permanently erase. Let us begin our investigation exactly 2,400 years ago. The brilliant Greek philosopher Plato sat down to document a highly detailed account of a mighty, seafaring civilization that vanished in a single day and night. Plato did not write this profound story as an allegorical fable or a grand poetic myth. He explicitly stated that this was an absolute historical fact passed down through generations of deeply revered Egyptian priests. A sprawling, photorealistic landscape of ancient Mauritania rendered in Unreal Engine 5.4. Towering mountain ridges frame the north, while massive, dried-up riverbeds gouge the earth toward the south. High-contrast, moody lighting dominates. Now look at the precise measurements of the Richat Structure in Mauritania. It is a perfect, concentric, circular anomaly measuring exactly 15 miles across, completely flanked by massive mountain ridges to its northern side. Mainstream geologists vehemently claim that the Eye of the Sahara is nothing more than a deeply eroded volcanic dome that formed over 100 million years ago. They dismiss any human connection entirely. But nature rarely creates perfectly concentric, symmetrical rings with such mathematical precision. When we look closer at the physical evidence on the ground, the natural erosion theory begins to fracture under the weight of logic. Why are there massive quantities of seaborne fossils and ancient marine sediments scattered across the high-altitude desert floor of the Richat Structure? The Sahara was not always a barren, lifeless ocean of burning sand. Less than 12,000 years ago, this entire region was a thriving, fertile paradise known to scientists as the African Humid Period. It was completely crisscrossed by gargantuan, hyperactive river systems and deep, navigable waterways. Ancient global maps created during the Renaissance, such as the famous Herodotus map, clearly illustrate a massive, forgotten body of water stretching across West Africa, positioned precisely where the mysterious Eye of the Sahara sits today. The ancient king of Mauritania was historically named Atlas, a figure deeply revered as the very first ruler of this region. Plato stated that the absolute first king of Atlantis was also named none other than Atlas. Plato explicitly detailed that the majestic walls of Atlantis were carefully constructed using a distinct combination of black, white, and red stones quarried directly from the earth. These exact stone colors naturally saturate the Richat Structure. If you are completely fascinated by these profound, hidden anomalies and want to challenge the rigid boundaries of mainstream history, subscribe to our channel right now. Join our dedicated community as we uncover the ultimate truth. How could a thriving, advanced seafaring empire situated in West Africa completely vanish without leaving behind colossal stone cities? The answer lies in a catastrophic global event that occurred exactly 12,000 years ago. Geologists recognize a period of extreme, abrupt climate chaos known as the Younger Dryas. During this terrifying epoch, global sea levels fluctuated violently, causing unprecedented cataclysmic mega-flooding across the entire surface of the globe. If a massive oceanic wave surged directly across the flat, low-lying plains of ancient Mauritania, it would have acted as a giant continental eraser, completely pulverizing every single structure in its devastating, unstoppable path. The retreating waters would have completely dragged the remnants of this glorious civilization directly out into the Atlantic Ocean. This perfectly explains why the modern eye of the Sahara is entirely stripped down to bare, eroded bedrock. When independent researchers ventured directly into the center of the Richat Structure, they discovered a series of highly anomalous physical artifacts that mainstream science simply refuses to properly document or publicly explain to the world. They found extensive fields of impact glass, highly stressed quartz crystals, and unusual metallic elements that can only be forged under conditions of extreme, unimaginable heat or through advanced, high-precision industrial engineering processes. These highly localized anomalies strongly suggest that the Eye of the Sahara was either the ground zero of a catastrophic cosmic impact or the home of an incredibly sophisticated, technologically advanced prehistoric society. The sheer volume of precise geographical, dimensional, and historical coincidences between Plato's lost city and the Richat Structure is simply too overwhelming to dismiss as a mere series of random, natural occurrences. Why does mainstream archaeology flatly refuse to fund a massive, state-of-the-art excavation at the Eye of the Sahara? The answer is deeply rooted in institutional pride and the preservation of historical dogma. To admit that Atlantis existed in West Africa would completely destroy the established timeline of human civilization. It would force historians to rewrite every single textbook, admitting they were completely wrong for over a century. Mainstream academics continuously argue that because no monumental standing stone columns or pristine marble temples have been officially excavated in Mauritania, the site cannot possibly be a lost, legendary ancient city. But they conveniently ignore the fact that the entire surrounding area is completely covered by a thick, impenetrable layer of ancient marine salt, proving the entire region was forcefully inundated by the sea. Plato explicitly noted that after the catastrophic destruction of Atlantis, the sea in that specific area became completely impassable and unnavigable due to the immense, shallow mud shoals left behind by the sunken island. If you look at the modern nautical charts of the Atlantic Ocean directly off the western coast of Mauritania, you will find the exact same shallow, treacherous sandbanks that Plato described thousands of years ago. Could the legendary seafaring merchants of Atlantis have easily sailed through these ancient deep river valleys, connecting their magnificent concentric capital city directly to the global trade routes of the vast outer ocean? The physical evidence is screaming a truth that our modern institutions are simply too terrified to investigate. The Eye of the Sahara stands as a monumental monument to a forgotten chapter of our violent history. We must look at the totality of the forensic evidence with complete objectivity. We have a perfect geographical match, a perfect dimensional match, a perfect geological color match, and a timeline that aligns flawlessly. To claim that the Eye of the Sahara is just a beautiful accidental freak of natural geology requires a far greater leap of blind faith than accepting the tangible, overwhelming historical evidence before us. The evidence strongly suggests that the Eye of the Sahara is indeed the physical ruin of the real Atlantis. It is a haunting, monumental ghost of an advanced, ancient future civilization that was utterly obliterated. As the blinding desert sands of Mauritania continue to slowly shift and erode over the coming millennia, the true origin of this ancient cosmic thumbprint will eventually become impossible for mainstream science to deny. The final question is no longer whether Atlantis was a real, physical place, but rather how many other advanced prehistoric civilizations have been completely erased from our fragile collective memory by the chaotic cycle of time. Human history is not a straight, linear line of slow, continuous progress. It is a profound cycle of brilliant ascents, cataclysmic collapses, and long dark periods of total, forced amnesia across the ages. The Eye of the Sahara remains out there, staring blindly into the infinite cosmos, waiting for a generation brave enough to finally look past the established dogmas and embrace the ultimate truth of our origins. The evidence is buried in the sand, waiting to be fully unearthed. Until then, the majestic eye of the Sahara will guard its deepest, most haunting secrets from those who refuse to truly see.